G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. It's early in the morning, I'm triggered, I'm pissed. I want to tell you the truth, because the truth will set us free. I don't think anyone in mental health gives a shit. Prior to the Royal Commission into institutional responses to childhood sexual abuse, my life was pretty good. I'd had three failed marriages, a couple of failed engagements, marriage breakdown, first marriage breakdown. Hadn't seen my daughter in quite a number of years. She's 26 now. Bloody hell, I feel old when I say that. I was 30 when she was born. 9 days later, I turned 31 and I woke up with her on my chest. My wife put her on my chest. We spent 7 years trying to have a daughter. We tried IVF a number of times, failed. This one was successful. We even went away on a holiday to Vanuatu to a pre-de-stress next attempt. So we conceived twins. And we lost the twin in the womb. Then things started to progress like normal pregnancy. Everything went okay. We grieved the loss of that child. We'd had 2 other miscarriages, and this one hit me really hard. It ended up costing me my job because I just lost focus, and I ended up hating the people I worked with. In a way, I blamed them for the miscarriage. And I had a boss who was just a fucking idiot. Had no idea whatsoever. She never wanted to have kids, but she sat me down saying, "I know how you feel." From a woman who didn't want to have kids, she knew how I felt, a man, and having lost a child who, with the first miscarriage, had no clue at all of the impact on my wife. I went off to an Amway convention when my wife was miscarrying because the person who sponsored me in the Amway business, I think, wanted me at the convention more than home with my wife. And I think that spelt the end of our marriage. I've just got a feeling, I don't know. But 6 months after my daughter was born, my wife left. Took off. I was in a mental health unit. I checked myself in. I'd been diagnosed with bipolar. Yeah, well, some fucking 20 years later, I find out that little purple pill I took every frickin' day so I could be a part of my daughter's life because I signed on the court orders that that's what I'd do, and I'd allow my ex-wife to contact my psychiatrist any time to check if I was taking my medications and seeing him, which I regularly did. Whether I signed the paperwork or not, I would have done it because I believed that they were right. They were bloody wrong. I got complex PTSD. I've just run. This is what I've done this morning. I went into hospital yesterday. You may have seen the videos. I got blood clots in both legs. I got fluid. My legs are burning. They're purple now. They were bright red yesterday. And I said I'd like to speak to someone from the mental health team. Well, they kicked me out, discharged me without seeing anyone, but they gave me a card. Access Mental Health, ACT, Canberra Health Services. Do better. I called today, 9th to the 7th. Why did I call today? Well, it's my first wife, the mother of my daughter's birthday today. And that's brought some memories back that aren't real happy. And I've left the kids alone because I feel so pissed. I don't want my negative energy to infect my beautiful dogs. So they're asleep in the bedroom of this beautiful home that we've been given, and I feel like I need a walk. So after I shoot this video, I'm going to go for a walk because that's how it's one of my coping mechanisms with my PTSD. But I want to run this past you. So I called. I was on hold for over 20 minutes. First in queue, but I was on a hold for 20 minutes. Triggered. So I ring the hospital. I get some snotty-nosed bloody receptionist by the name of Ryan who says, mate, they're not going to talk to you on the ward. Who is he to judge what somebody else is going to do or not? So he puts me through to the emergency department mental health person. The phone drops out, or they pick up and hang up. I don't know what happened, but it ended. So I ring him back. He gives me another gobful. I'm going to request those calls because I know all calls into that hospital are recorded. So we're going to get that. I'm going to do a deep dive on this because I've had a freaking gutful of so-called fucking mental health people with no fucking clue whatsoever. I know I'm swearing, I know I'm not even going to apologise. I'm that pissed. So then he says, well, I was going to put you through, and puts me through to a lady named Rose. It would be unfair of me, I can't talk to you because I don't know your background. She can't even have a chat to me because she doesn't know my background. Yet here I am crying out for help for someone to talk to. She triggers me even further. So I hang up on the bitch. Unbelievable. Then she rings me back. Then she wants to chat. Triggers me more. You don't want to chat, you do want to chat. Fucking hell. Where is the compassion gone? There is no compassion in our society. So I'm going to make a live channel. It's going to be called Man Yarnin Up. We're going to be there for one another. My phone is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I will accept a phone call from anyone at any time. Because I care about you. You might sound that it's a bit weird. Go and watch some of the videos. My dogs and I have walked over 1,000 kilometres. We left our first ever walk 7 years ago on Valentine's Day. Why? Because we wanted people to know we loved them. We walked for victims of crime and the stolen generation. Now, for you overseas viewers, the stolen generation refers to our First Nations people. Our First Nations people were taken from their families by white men, freaking hell, for the betterment of the children. I got a very good mate, Tom, beautiful man, I love him to death. He's Aboriginal. And he said something very, very pertinent to me the other day. He said, Andrew, if you want to destroy a people, what do? You take their language away. And I went, whoa, how true is that? Take a person's language away, they can't communicate with each other. Wow. And that has been the pattern of behaviour of every government to divide, even this voice vote that we've got here coming up in Australia. There are a lot of Aboriginal people telling me, Andrew, no, vote no, please vote no, please vote no. Because currently we've got 12 people who have input into the government. They want to get rid of 11 of them and just have one. How does that make it better for us? Now, I'm not right up on Aboriginal politics, but I do know that ever since I started coming to Canberra, way back in, longer than 7 years ago, I was still living in Sydney. It would have been 2011, I think. So 12 years I've been coming down to Canberra off and on, come down here like a lunatic to pray and just stick my nose in and have a look around Parliament and all the war memorials and all the Magna Carta and all that, the history of our nation. Because I come from, I was born in Sydney, but when my father died, I didn't even attend his funeral. I was 3 years old. I was sent to Kempsey on the mid-north coast where my mum was born. And our relatives arrived there in the 1850s. And I feel a real connection to country up there. I'm not Aboriginal, but I understand. I've seen when an Aboriginal fellow's been away from country for a number of years. And then they come back and they stand on the land and they look out and they just cast their vision across the land. And you see them straighten up. It's like they grow an extra 2 or 3 inches. And their chest puffs out. And I saw these guys, and it was like warriors. It's like they were preparing that they were strong when they were on their country. And this fellow had played the didgeridoo on top of the Harbour Bridge with a famous Australian Aboriginal footballer from Kempsey. Yes, Greg Inglis. Now, all you people out there who think Greg Inglis was a Barraville boy, he was born in Kempsey. Check his website. He was born in Kempsey and he moved over to Barraville when he was a young bloke. But he played his first game of football in Kempsey. So he's a Dungutty man, through and through. A little bit sidetracked, but a very important point about belonging. Because I feel I belong in Kempsey. It's a healing place. When Essie and I stepped off the bus there one Thursday morning a number of weeks ago, there was this peace that came over the both of us. Now, Essie's my little blue healer. I'm going to do a video on her today. There's going to be Chelsea Dog, but I need to honour the living and not the dead. The dead kept me under a bridge for 2.5 years, partly, because Chelsea Dog was buried in Bulahdelah. That's where we were under that bridge for 2.5 years, on Crown land. So the police couldn't move us. The council couldn't move us. I didn't know at the time, but God's beautiful. He put us in a spot where we couldn't be touched. Anyway, where you belong, having a connection to family, to knowing who you are, I think it's got a lot to do with mental health. I don't know. Chuck some things in the comments. If any of this strikes a chord with you, chuck some stuff in the comments. I'm no counsellor. And if you feel down and you need someone, ring Lifeline on 13 11 14. Reach out to the crisis line, and if you're on edge, you'll know those numbers in your area, in your country, in your state, in your city. Or reach out to your brother, your sister, your mate. One of the things I'm discovering is that we're losing the art of mateship. This coronavirus was horrid. Let's make a commitment to each other to re-establish those friendships. Not over this thing. This thing's good and we connect, but there's nothing like a handshake or a hug. Looking in someone's eyes instead of a screen and touching a person's heart. Let's start a movement. Let's encourage from the screen, but be real and touch each other's hearts again. Let's take our communities back. Let's take our lives back. We've handed over far too much to the government man. Send me your videos. I'm going to talk to my guru today, Jay-Z, the guy who did my professional videos. Beautiful man. Lovely guy. Going to talk to him about a way of you guys uploading videos to the net, to the cloud, that I can then access, and we can put them on a channel and we can go worldwide. Or some way of doing it. I don't want to control it, because if one person controls this and I died with these blood clots in my legs, then this thing ain't going to get off the ground. But I think of a guy in America called Hippie, the wandering hippie. Love you, brother. You're a funny bugger. He smokes a bit of weed, takes his dogs for a walk, films it, goes live, talks about stuff, acknowledges the people who are watching. That's awesome. Man, you've taught me so much, Hippie, about just caring for people. And all the people who go live with you. John Denicola. There are too many to mention. But I mentioned John because we had this banter going about his big weapon that he was going to lend me because we don't have guns in Australia. So, John, I love you, mate. Never met you, but I'd love to. I'd love to sit around a fire with all of you. Get the fire roaring. Have the dogs around, and if you want to have a beer, have a beer. I had a bottle of red wine last night, and I don't feel the best for it this morning because, unfortunately, I am an alcoholic. I used to drink 2 litres of port a day prior to COVID. And then when everything locked down, I couldn't get it, so I just stopped. And it didn't really worry me until I walked into a bottle shop after I came out from under the bridge, and I bought a pizza. It was also a bottle shop. And I looked on the floor and I saw that 2 litre cask of port. And I sort of licked my lips and went, I can taste, oh yeah. And I didn't buy one. Praise God. I've had some beers. There's a bloke, Honey, Gary the Bee-Man. I love you, brother. When I walked the 500 Ks with my dog, Gary was on the end of the phone every day, keeping me real, keeping me grounded. Yeah, that 30-day walk was therapy. I was too tired at the end of the day to be cranky at anyone. But hey, enough. This is not about me, it's about us. It's about you. It's about a bloke who I've never met, some corner of the world, who might be hurting or who might be full of joy. Let's hear some joyful stories too. But let's connect as men, real men. Just yarning up, telling a story. I don't care what your story is. I don't even care if it's true, because I know half the stories us blokes tell are true. We just got you, the listener, got to work out which part of the story true or not. It's up to you. So I'm just going to throw this out there. I ain't got many followers, but hopefully you guys will pick it up, share it, I don't know, and see how it goes. But I feel a lot better now just talking to a freaking camera. How's that? After being triggered by these professional freaking mental health people who ain't got a fucking clue. Anyway, love and licks. I'm sure the dogs want to give you your licks. So love and licks, people. If this touches you, respond. I don't care if one person responds. You know what? I might keep doing this anyway. Yeah, it's helping me. God bless you all. Love ya. When I say God bless you, I'm talking about my beliefs. I don't care what your beliefs are. They're your beliefs. I'm just worried about mine. I got enough hassle keeping my own relationship with God. And I know he ain't happy that I've been swearing this morning, but that's all right. My dad and I will sort that out. But I love you all. Stay strong. Be the man that you were created to be by whoever you believe created you to be, whoever. And be the best you can be. Let's do better than the G-man and the C-man and the F-man and anyone else. Love you all. Have a great day.